How's everybody doing? We've had a long day, a lot of information. Anybody want to get up and stretch before we start? We're going to teach you guys how to make money with custom packing out of boxes that you have in your store already, but you need a different size. So instead of carrying 120 sizes, which is eventually what I got up to before I slimmed down, you can make 120 sizes out of the few sizes that you have. So my name is Kristina. I started my store from scratch 19 years ago. I'm in the northwest corner of California, almost Oregon on the coast. I'm by Redwood National Park. Beautiful place, but very, very remote and not a lot of city services. So the specialty that we have in our community is we do a lot of custom packing for artists. There are tons of artists where we are, and there isn't any other professional packing store around us for hundreds of miles. And so we get a lot of that business. We are the only ones you can walk in off the street and get a freight job done. And so we've made a lot of our money by making sure that our packing department is up to speed with all kinds of different materials and all kinds of different strategies to get your stuff there safely. We've had very, very little breakage in my 19 years, and so very few claims. And people come to us because they know we can do that. So we have repeat customers who just leave their card on file, and every couple months bring us a few $1,000 worth of artwork. So this is Marty. 17 years ago, his parents taught me how to pack. I think Marty was about 17 then and taking photos of them.
Your math is very generous. It is incorrect, but very generous.
It was a good number. It matched.
Thank you.
So Marty and I have learned together for a long time.
We've been industry buds for many, many years.
He's taught me a lot of stuff, but initially it was his parents that got me up and running. So we have a lot of slides. We have 71 slides.
What?
We are going to blow through them.
45 minutes for 71 slides?
We're going to upload them to a Dropbox where you can access them. Okay, so don't worry about getting all the information down right now, because what we really want to do is at the end we want to take some time to actually show you hands-on how you're going to make the boxes in your store be more than one size. Okay.
Yep. But yeah, echo to Kristina. Don't want to take too much time, but it's an honor to teach alongside you for the first time. We have been attending conferences for 15 years together, however long together. So this is an honor. Kristina has been a mentor of mine. We've been mutual mentors. We've learned a lot. And so I've been in the industry since 1991. My parents opened their first store then. I was 12 years old. I'm not that old. But I was, almost a teenager. And my mom developed the first packaging course for AMBC. It was then AMBC. And she taught it alone for a while, and then she and my dad would co-teach it when they were able to attend events together for many years. 15-ish years ago, 16 years ago, they retired, sold their businesses. At the time, I was like, I'm done. I managed them. I was your general manager of 3 stores. I'm done. And a year later, here I was opening my own store. I have my own store. And then at the time I joined we transitioned to a nonprofit, became AMBC. I was a founding board member of that, and I started teaching the packaging class for AMBC. So I taught that for years. It used to be 2 3-hour courses. There was Packing 1 and Packing 2. It was a lot of material. We eventually, when AMBCU was created, which is online streaming, we culled it down to 1 course, a 3-hour course. And now all of that streams for you on AMBCU. So it's really, really good material for you and your packers to take. For this presentation, we took those 180 some slides or whatever, culled it down, added some, removed some to 71 slides. So this is just a taste of what you'll get in that very comprehensive packing class. We're focusing on just a few specific things, but we included a lot of material, as Kristina said, so that you have that information at home. You can review these slides at home when you get them. There's some links, there's some videos to watch. We're not going to play them all now just due to time, but you can then review them and go over them with your team. And hopefully that will encourage you to explore more of the AMBCU content, because it is wonderful, wonderful content.
You guys all know about AMBCU, the online classes that are available, some for free, some for...
Yep, and there's certified ones in packing, in shipping, in CMRA, which is very, very useful. So let's get to it, shall we? Purpose of this training we just covered. AMBCU has additional comprehensive training. One thing we want to stress, that packaging is not math. It is not a one definitive answer, yes or no, black or white. It is a creative process. So there may be many ways to pack the same thing safely, and many, many more ways to pack that same thing unsafely. Kristina mentioned very low breakage rate. I have also been blessed with a very, very low breakage and claim rate, but I was trained by my mother, so I had a bit of an advantage. But I did have a high breakage rate in the store before I packed things because I am a notorious klutz. I have taken paintings and put them on the packing table and put the corner of the packing table right through that expensive painting. I've dropped vases, I've dropped ceramic Christmas trees right in front of the client. I had an employee break the leg off a 2,000-year-old Chinese sensor. I've done some stuff. When that happens, making it right, offering to make it right, will get you an advocate for life. It's a stinky situation, but don't pretend it broke in shipping and just pack it up and all that. Integrity will go a long way when it comes to that. Your reputation is the most important thing.
That actually brings up a great point, which is how do you protect the customer's item before it's packed and given to the carrier, right? So what is your system? I'm a big systems person. I went to school for MBA, and part of that training is systems. Okay, so our system is, it comes in, it's put on the scale, we get the price, we get the label out, and then the customer's gone. We have a system of tubs, okay? And if it doesn't fit in the tub, you go get the box that it's supposed to go in right at that time. So red tub, fragile. Everyone knows right away, this is a fragile item. You put it in the red tub, you go put it in the packing station. Blue tubs, regular. Red tubs could also be express, so we know it's quick. But if it doesn't fit in the tub, you go right then. You don't even, the customer's just gone and you leave the thing sitting on your counter and you go right then and get the box, put it in there, put the label in there. That way nothing goes to the wrong place, get the wrong label on it. Everything's protected in a little environment of its own. So just ask yourself, what's your system and is it working for you, and are your items protected and are they getting to the right place? Yeah,
we also used the tub system, and we used clothespins, and we would clip on the paperwork to the outside. It had a little lip on it. We used the tubs that were very similar to what you see in a TSA line, those kind of shallow ones. Then we had deeper ones for bigger things. Holiday time, back when people were shipping tons and tons of gifts all the time, very easy to mix up gifts, especially if you're packing two people's items on the same table and one gift falls into the other pile, and which never should do. Should always have a dedicated packing area. But we would then bag things, just clear plastic bags, put all the gifts in, put it aside, and be there till midnight packing. Those days aren't what they used to be during the holidays, but they're still there.
We use Uline colored tubs. They have yellow, green, blue, so we use those throughout the store for different things. All right, so packing is a place we do a lot of money.
Yes.
First of all, our box margins. I'm talking margins, not markups. If you need distinguishing. Between those two, you can come to me. But yeah, so 3 to 4 times for our margin. It's a 70 margin for those who know what that is. And so it's a much higher margin than other things in your store, right? The other thing is, make sure you value your time. How many people charge the same price to the customer for every size box that they pack? Is everybody charging the same amount, whether it's a small box or a large box? Is everybody charging the same amount, whether you do 1 step or 5 steps, or you do have that differentiated? So the harder it is and the bigger it is, you make more, you charge more, right? That's how everyone should be doing it. And you should charge handsomely. Yes. Think about how long it's going to take you to pack that box, and then extend that out to what your hourly rate should be. I mean, everybody should be charging $60, $80 an hour when they're packing. They're professionals, right? 100, 120 for the stuff that's really fragile or really valuable, right? And then break it down from there, because you're worth that by far, if not more.
You're worth it, and you're beautiful. Do all of you have your professional packaging specialist hats? They're not real. They're imaginary, right? But you all have them, especially if you take that AMBCU class, because you will be a professional packaging specialist. And you know what? Ain't nobody else in your community probably, unless you have another AMBC member who's taken that same training, because some of the franchise training doesn't even measure up, if we do say so ourselves. But it is, you are a specialist in that. And to wear that specialist hat that's imaginary, but it's a veil of confidence that you put on, you just have to understand that you don't know the answers, but you have a network that can find the answers. So you can say, yes, person, I will be glad to take in this very fragile, delicate thing that I have no clue how to pack right now, and I just peed a little bit, but you didn't see. But I'm going to take it, and I'm going to say, I will take good care of it. I'll be in touch. I just need to consult some of my peers to find the best solution for you. We are solutions providers, and we are problem solvers. They pay us to solve problems. So we have to be confident.
The only time you should say no to a pack job, pretty much, is if it's either illegal or a hazmat, or
I think I've got it. There's a slide on that later. I'm not going to go through it. But yeah.
You should say yes. Say yes to everything. Figure it out later.
Say yes. It's better to say, I've done some research and we won't be able to help you, but I've found a good solution for you. I can recommend this. After the fact, then to knee-jerk reaction, say, that's too much for me. I'm not going to do it. Who does that? FedEx office, the UPS store, that lame-o store down the street, right? And what can you do to get more business? You could go visit them and say, hey, I am a new professional packaging specialist. FedEx sad little teenager behind this counter. If something is overwhelming for you and you don't have the boxes or the material or the skill, please refer them to me and I will be glad to help them. And your local network will grow as a result.
Yeah, we've gotten great referrals.
What do you do when someone does not want to pay you to pack something? They're like, that's so expensive. I can do it myself.
Yeah, I've had several that were like that, and they went and packed it themselves, and they all broke, and they said, I can't do that anymore. I need to come to you because...
But FedEx paid the claim, right? Because they were packed correctly.
No, FedEx doesn't pay the claim because they catch you on your packaging, and that's how they deny it.
Very rarely would I accept a shipment that someone did not want to pay for the correct packaging on. In that case, I had this disclaimer that I recorded and had a signature that they acknowledged that it would be packed under our recommended standards and therefore any coverage would be void on it. That was a very rare circumstance. Most of the time, I would just say, I am not comfortable taking on this liability then as the store, unless it's packed professionally. They can go literally on my same city block was a UPS store. We opened the same week in 2011. It was real fun. They are welcome to go there. They probably don't know or don't care. Nothing against UPS stores, but something against this one particular one, which was not very good.
Yeah, so we have a note right on, if we have that conversation that they don't want to pay for the packaging, but they still want the item to go out, we have the conversation how we're not going to place any insurance on it. We do have a note that goes onto our receipt, packing recommendations declined.
Yeah,
So
exactly. On the receipt printed in the point of sale, you could prove that that email was sent to them, they got it, right? It's an incredible marketing opportunity. So who here has a store where they have a visible line from the guest spot to the packing area, right? Who here wishes they did, but that's just not able within their configuration, right? So we were at a store visit, if I may say, Shawl and Liz yesterday. We spent some time with them at their store. You can see their packing area, which is wonderful. I call it the open kitchen concept, but you can't, from the retail area, see their print area. What have they done? They put a live feed to their beautiful, huge print facility. By the way, let me just say, when we're talking about the wholesalers and all that, which are really great, sometimes if you need something specialty printed, put a message out there in the AMBC forums because there are a lot of our members who are mega print shops who might be able to fulfill that for you at a very decent price, and then you're supporting each other, just as a tagline. But they have a huge print area, and they've got a live feed with a big TV right behind the counter showing exactly what's going on, showing their team there, cutting the things, printing the things, and all that. So they have taken the open kitchen concept, even though it's not a direct line of sight, they've created one. And that's amazing. So if you can't have, this is my old store. I sold 2 years ago. And the new owners have now opened more locations. They're just doing great. I'm so proud of them. Going in a couple weeks for their Entrepreneur of the Year award they're getting from their local chamber. Woo! Adorable. They're preggers with their first kid. They told me I could be the great uncle. So anyway, but this was my open kitchen concept. But the point is, it's a marketing opportunity, right? If people come into your store, they don't see a box display, they don't see your peanut shooter, they don't see your bubble pack rack, they don't see all the materials. How are they going to really know that you are a professional packaging specialist, right? Even if they can't see, put a box display out front. Something to show that you have the supplies and you have the know-how. This is just a couple pictures from my store. We sold a ton of boxes. So during student move-out season, we were in a college town. We would clear out the entire front of the store, all the retail, and we would just put pallets and pallets of boxes, and they would just fly out the door to all the students moving home.
This is actually your Instagram, isn't it?
This is all from my old Insta, yeah.
Right, so that's another thing is, if you do professional packing, make sure people know that.
Look what the next slide was, Kristina. I love it.
Yeah, put those pictures out there, custom boxes that you make and processes that you've gone through, Instagram, you can slide through different slides, so you can do it step by step and show a final.
In this presentation, when you have the PDF at home, There will be links in it that go to my old TikTok that you can start. They're still active. The new owners of my store, I love them to death, and they're like way younger, and you'd think would be like super social savvy, but turns out I was way more social media than them. So they haven't really kept up with the TikTok, but we've put a lot of links into things that I had done previous to selling that might be helpful in how to story sell, right? So you are packing something. Don't keep that to yourself. With the guest's permission, share that story. Show, as Fahim always says, you want to share how you made memories for someone. That, blog about it. Share it in your monthly newsletter. That will communicate your professional packing service way more than you saying, I'm a professional packer, or, hey person, I sell packing services. If you tell the story about that great aunt's china that went to that inheritor in California from New York, and how it all got there safely, and how they were overjoyed to receive this, and you were the only place in town that could do it. They drove 2 hours to get to you. Whatever the details are, people will remember that way more than they'll remember an advertisement. So use social media to your advantage. Do reels, do TikToks, do photos. I have a couple, this is just important. Get permission if you're sharing anything of any personal value, and never show the label. Never show the address or the tracking number. These are just a couple screen caps from some of the things that I shared at my store over the years of the packing process. An original Mac, cutting down a box, packing up artwork. We did a ton of artwork, worked with a lot of auction companies, a lot of just all kinds of stuff. And we would just share fun things. We made it engaging, authentic, relatable, always showing smiles when we could. Not a lot of stores do this anymore, and this is a little old school, but you know what? I'm a little old school sometimes. We always put a packing slip inside the box. On the packing slip, we signed it. It knows a personal touch of what team member packed that box. On the back, at Uncle Marty's, that my store was called Uncle Marty's, it still is called Uncle Marty's, sold the whole brand. We were very big on sustainability. It was part of our mission statement. By the way, who has a published mission statement? This is an aside. Wow, y'all need to find your mission statement, create it, publish it, put it on your wall, put it on your website, put it on your slideshow. Why you're in business. Have y'all read Simon Sinek's Start With Why, the book? Anybody? Your why you are in business. You need to know it in order to be successful. Why are you there? Is it to support your community? Is it to help your neighbors? Is it just to make money? Is it to build a team? Is it to leave a legacy for your children? Figure out your why and put it in writing. So anyway, part of our mission statement was we wanted to be encouraging sustainability in an industry that was traditionally non-sustainable. Shipping, right? A lot of waste. Printing, a lot of waste. So we tried to do our best to make smart choices there. So we packed primarily with recycled materials. We advertised it, which are free, by the way. And we would put in this thing on how to recycle or reuse at the other end. So that was just, we would do that and everything just as part of our mission.
Do people know in your community that they can bring you packing materials, clean, dry peanuts?
Clean, dry, and odorless.
System to take those in and store them and reuse them. The mistake we made at the beginning was we took everything.
Yeah.
And then we were storing too much and not reusing it. And then
Amen.
we were just taking people's trash, right?
Yeah.
So we've slimmed it down to exactly what we can use in a reasonable amount of time with the storage space we have. Right into our hopper, we found all kinds of things coming out of our hopper.
Leaves.
Inappropriate things in front of customers.
No.
Frisky fingers and pipes and all kinds of things.
No.
So I caution you to make sure those peanuts are clean before you go into someone else's package.
Yes.
Because, sending grandma frisky fingers, maybe not.
No, might be not. One time, many, many years ago, when cell phones were like a brand new thing and we had the flip phones, my dad would keep it in his front pocket because he's an old man. And he was packing something and he bent over. Apparently, the phone fell out into the package. He had no idea. Later that day, he's like, I can't find my phone. And then a couple of days later, there was no security. You could just open it and call any number from it. Someone called the home button to their landline and, he shipped his phone somewhere. Just be careful.
Just be aware.
We've all done it. When you're packing, so this is what you're paying for here. So we'll stop, going on things. There are 5 main environmental hazards that a package will face in transit that you have to protect from. A lot of people think, we have to protect in case the package is dropped. That is the number 1 hazard. That is shock. But there's 4 others that you have to be aware of. Second one is vibration. How does vibration happen, Kristina?
So on the road, the truck's bouncing like this, and your box is bouncing with it.
You think UPS trucks have the most high-end suspension? No.
So yeah, fragile items, double boxing really helps with that, right? Put it in a box, put the box in, peanuts in another box, so that it has a place to jiggle and not have the item be the jiggling thing, right?
It's important, especially for electronics.
Yep.
Anything. And shock, I shouldn't have glazed over like that. So shock is when something is going at a rate of speed and then hits a hard surface. Usually that's falling off the counter onto the floor or off a conveyor belt onto the floor. It can also be something coming behind it on the conveyor belt. This is stationary and smacking into it, which happens all the time. Has anyone been to like the FedEx Mega Hub in Memphis for the midnight tour? Did it change how you pack forever?
Changed my life, actually.
Changed my life, actually, too. It was amazing. It ain't gentle. It ain't gentle whatsoever. Things are zipping down these things, crazy. They like the big, huge 70-pound box will fall on top like a little 4-cube something and just smash it to smithereens. The whole document section. Do you remember like the wall of documents? They were falling down. All the paper on the floor. Paper on the floor from envelopes that had ripped open.
Someone's job to just go pick them up and put them back on the belt.
Just write it off, pay the claim, whatever. That means they're not even a claim on documents.
Were you there when the whole line stopped? Right when we got there.
And they came out and they was walking into there with his broom.
Remember? No,
she kicked it.
With her feet. Remember? Yeah.
Ain't gentle. So it's shocking, but there's a lot of shock in transit. So when someone has packed something themselves, a really good test that we like to do is usually a counter height is what, 36 inches, 40 inches, 42. Say if this box were to fall on the floor, like if I push this off the counter right now, would it be safe? Their reaction will tell you everything. If they're like, yeah, it's good, it's probably packed okay. If they're like, oh, don't do that, oh! You know what that is?
That's your chance to sell them packaging, proper packaging.
Opportunity to sell them proper packaging.
Because they wanted you to insure $500.
Yes.
Right? When their face dropped when you were going to drop it off the counter, that's your window, right?
And we're not going to get into insurance and declared value coverage here, but there are limitations. You need to know them. You need to take that shipping class that's on AMBC, which will tell you about the limitations. There are things called inherent vice, which are just not covered. There are things that only covered up to $499, $500 or more. You've got to do something different. Different third-party insurers will cover different things. You need to get to know those options.
How many people are just using carrier insurance and not any third parties? Okay, you need to get on the third-party insurance. Ship insurance and ship and insure are the two you should use.
Yep.
Learn their rules. They're much better to get a claim paid than the carriers, and they're more affordable as well. They're cheaper. And
they'll cover things that like artwork, original artwork, things that are inherent vice with the carriers.
So that's how I'm able to do a lot of artwork. FedEx does not cover a lot of artwork beyond what is it, $1,000 now. I shipped a whole set of original '60s concert posters worth, $75,000, and they'll cover that. I didn't have to have any proof of value before I sent that thing out into the world, So, yeah.
Was that your original collection?
It was not.
Oh, it's
it was
surprising.
one that someone tried to sell me, though. I had actually already had that one passed.
Kristina is a gigantic music fan, and it's one of the things I love about her. And a poster collector. She's just cool all the way around. I may say so myself. Okay, compression. Compression is squishing, basically. So it's that not sturdy, crappy Walmart, Home Depot box that's made out of tissue paper, right?
Stupid shoe box.
Sitting on the floor, and then that heavy thing coming on top of it and just squishing it. We've all seen boxes come through that have been squished. That's compression. That's another thing to watch out for. Temperature and humidity. If you're sending a box of chocolates from New York in June to Houston, they're probably going to melt, right? Yeah. And if you are packing up electronics in New Orleans in the middle of the humid season, and you put it in a sealed plastic bag, all that moisture is going to damage those electronics, right? There's a lot of things to consider with temperature and humidity.
Yeah, there was one that one of my mentors told me a story about. Hey, he had a corporate client. They want to send snow globes to everybody. Middle of winter, he sends the snow globes out. He keeps getting breakage complaints. Well, those things froze. They exploded.
Atmospheric pressure. So that is primarily for air shipments. The cargo holds of those planes are not pressurized like a passenger cabin, right? So that is why you can't send aerosol or items under pressure on an air shipment or perfume, because it could ignite with the temperature changes. So when we're shipping and we're packing, we need to protect from those hazards. For more information on that, please visit AMBCU and take the packing class. Because there are examples and examples and examples. We go through everything on there. There's exactly how to pack a stringed instrument, pictures, photos, videos, china, how to do a teacup, how to do a stack of plates, how to do a serving dish. You name it, it's there, right? Corrugated fiberboard, which is also called cardboard. Do y'all know the difference between the single wall, double wall, triple wall?
Yeah.
Pretty basic.
Double wall in their store? Okay, good. You guys try to upsell that. Someone comes in and say they want a 12-inch cube, and you say, do you want that in double wall? You're gonna make more money because a lot of times, 50% or so of the times, they might say yes. You know.
When I was in my 20s, I built a really, really sweet closet organizer out of triple wall cardboard. It's amazing.
Only you.
Only me. Single face corrugate. Does anyone have this in their store? It comes on a roll. It's only got siding on one of it, and then the flutes are exposed on the other. It's good. It's limited use, but it's cool to have. It's not something I'd recommend to every store if you're starting out. But if you are becoming an advanced packer and you have an open kitchen concept that people can see, this is a huge marketing tool. People see a roll of cardboard hanging from your bubble pack rack. They're like, what? And so it can really show you as the expert because you've got the materials. It's also useful. For more information on how to use it, please take the AMBC packing class.
It's useful for things that are round that somebody has just shrink wrapped in.
Yeah.
Because that makes it a standard container when it's cardboard.
And it makes it into like a tube or like a, yeah,
So you
or whatever.
You'll save the customer $50
Yeah.
for a non-standard container if you just wrap
You know what that
it in
means?
cardboard.
Yeah, we'll teach you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Les. Yeah. The cardboard strengths, so we're going to zip a little faster here because we got to get to our demos. Cardboard strengths, the flute width factors into the strength as well as the liner board, which is the outer pieces of that cardboard. So you all know a Walmart or Home Depot box is a moving box. It is trash. If you ship it, it's probably going to be denied a claim. So when you get people wondering why you charge $8.99 for a 12 cube when they can go down to Walmart and buy it for 50 cents or whatever garbage they sell, you can say, well, we sell shipping boxes that actually you can reuse and have lifelong value and will stand up and be covered by insurance in the shipping cycle versus that piece of garbage tissue paper moving box that you're buying at Walmart. So if you say it a little kinder, but you understand.
Say it with a smile.
Yes. In the slides which you'll get, we're going to go through all the different packing materials, the pros and cons of each. We're going to skip through that. A lot of it is common sense, and this is just more reference information for you to have, along with some photos and some videos. Different types of foam. Pink stuff. Who has pink materials in their store? They are anti-static. So if you do a lot of electronic shipping, it's good to invest in some pink loose fill and or bubble pack. They also have anti-static bags and wrapping that you can get.
You can buy those in a really small box.
Yeah.
If you just want to start with a little bit.
Glassine paper, this is fun. Does anyone have that? This is really, if you do a lot of artwork, as both Kristina and I do, this is the first layer of defense that can actually touch that charcoal, that oil, that watercolor, even photographs. And it comes in bags for that kind of small thing or big rolls. And that is okay to touch it before you put anything else on that might be abrasive. This is feels almost like wax paper. It's called glassine. Sometimes it's called silicone release paper. Glass mask goes directly on glass, non-UV coated glass, just regular glass. If it has a coating on it, or it's museum glass or coated, if it says that on the back, or if it has like a weird purpley tint like these glasses do sometimes in the right reflection, do not put glass mask on it because it'll ruin that film.
Glass mask is to keep it, basically, if you do have breakage, it'll keep the glass all together in one piece so it doesn't ruin the artwork. So at least you've only lost the frame job and not the artwork. That would be the most expensive part.
12:25 and we have to the good stuff. What did we say, 20 minutes and then 20?
Let's do it.
Oh.
Okay, we're going to move this
We're
table.
awesome. Yeah. So there are 5 main manipulation techniques we want to talk about. We got to move the table. You said that, and I was just like, no, I want to talk more. I'm in the spotlight.
Let's talk tools.
I like the spotlight better.
Love it.
I do, actually. Okay,
Let's
so
talk tools.
let's talk tools.
Okay, so this is not a T-square, but everybody should have a T-square. You're going to need a straight edge of some kind. This is just the one we're using for today because it's what we have. But T-square, number 1, you need to make straight lines. Obviously tape gun and box cutters, which everybody has, and Sharpie, easy. But this right here, if you don't have this in your store,
Oh, I don't know how to work
you need
this.
this in your store.
I don't know how to
never
work this.
understood why people like tools, different tools. Why do you need 6 different
It's gonna go
wrenches?
viral.
Why do you need a million, screwdrivers or whatever it is? Now I understand. This thing changed my life. So if you don't know what this is, get to know it. It's called a carton sizer.
Officially.
Or,
But the unofficial name is the cutty downy thingy. Or, as this one is, without a safety guard, the knuckle biter.
So they only go up to 12 inches. We're hoping Mary Lou's getting
They make bigger ones.
3D printed ones into 18 inches.
We used to have a big old one.
I'm asking you.
It's like the
every year,
slaughter.
or is it-
They just went away. There wasn't enough.
They go
Us,
away.
us shipping packing nerds are dinosaurs. This,
So give them the price with the 12 cube not cut down first.
that'll be $79.95 to feed it, sir, because of the size. But let me tell you what I can do for you right here.
Also,
I can take this and I can do my magic because we don't need that full 12 inches height. Is that how Louisiana people talk? Am I getting it right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I understand everything you said.
Right. So.
Okay, well, anyway, the carrier wants you to do an H tape. Everybody knows that, right?
H tape.
Okay, all seams. The other thing is you want this box certificate on the outside always. And the reason is, there's no up or down in shipping, but you gotta have this out there and don't cover it with the label. Because if you have a claim and they want photographs of the packaging, you need this to be on the outside and showing them that you used a 200-pound first box or 275 if it's double wall.
Yep.
And 32 edge crush, I don't really like those. They're too thin. They're not great.
Great.
So come and look at your boxes. Are you getting
But at a 12 cube, it's okay. For more information on the box certificate, take the AMBCU class.
And if you're making boxes, if you get to the point where you're just taking pieces of cardboard and making boxes, you should make a box certificate.
Technically, yeah.
Anyway.
Jeff did. So also, I forgot what I was going to say, so keep going.
Okay, so we have a 12-inch cube. The price was, oh my
That's what it was. Oh, $79.95 as a 12 cube. But I don't think we need that. So can we cut that down 4 inches?
We can cut that down 4
Boss
inches with
Kristina.
this famous little tool right here. And before I do it, usually unless the customer's already asked for a 12-12-8, and I say, sure, I got a 12-12-8 for you, and then I make it for them. More on that later because I have a multi-depth box that does that without the tool. But first I check the price. Am I saving them money? Because I'm going to charge them. If I pick up this tool, I'm charging them money. Okay? So if I'm not going to save them more than I'm going to charge them, then I might not offer to do this right there on the fly. Right?
Yeah. And we're going to show you why you would do this and why you would save them money intentionally on the fly.
So the way it works is it hangs on the edge. Did you have something else to say?
I was just going to say, when you do this, be very careful that you take it aside or to a back counter so they can still see, but not right in front of them because the public is what? Terrible, right? So they will want to help you. Helpful people are the worst. Helpful people are the worst. And they'll try to hold the box and then you're going to cut their knuckles. One time, someone was trying to tape a box for someone. They decided at the very last minute to put their hands in to hold it together for me so helpfully. I left a bloody bunch of dots from the tape gun on that lady's hand. And you know what I did? Did I apologize? No, I said, get out of my store, you helpful person. No, I didn't. I apologized profusely and made it right.
So the way I do this, I hang this thing on the edge, and this is what works for me. I hold here, so I have something against the wheels. There's a little wheel making a score.
And you wiggle, right? Like that?
You wiggle, but I go straight across, right? The double wall boxes are harder to do, and sometimes you gotta go back and forth a couple times. And the corners are the hardest. Make sure you get the corners, or your box is gonna look like, bowed.
It'll have like boop, little things.
And you just go all the way around, right? So all you're doing is you're making a new place where the flap is gonna fold, okay? You've got a score here, you're making a new score, right? Just go around.
It's very easy to do this like a pendulum, to have that thing and go like this with the tool, which makes an arc. It's very important to go parallel and keep this thing flat the whole time so it moves this direction, not like this.
The new people in your store, when they first try it, their boxes are gonna look terrible.
It's hilarious.
Make them practice.
It's like watching them try to load a tape gun for the first time. It's just fun. You should always videotape it and show that on their 5th anniversary, and they're just going to be like, oh my gosh.
And you just cut the corners?
Now, when you do that, do you make sure the customer is standing in front of it with their chin right above your cutter?
I never do it like this. I have one guy who keeps trying to do it like this.
No.
Stop. Away from you. Please,
away from you.
Please. You got to figure out your own body mechanics. Everybody's different, but just.
And is it better to have a fresh sharp blade or an old dull blade?
That thing catches.
And the old dull blade's less dangerous, right? No. Sharper the better.
Change your blade. The second it goes, because it's going to wreck your box too.
Mm-hmm.
So then you just fold it down. You leave all these flaps here. There's no reason to get rid of them. Try not to break through the cardboard. Don't, be so aggressive like I am when I'm nervous. But just fold it all down. Now,
and then you can still use the H method. It's just a little bit different shape of an H. Right? It's more like it's a funny H.
You still hit all the seams.
You still hit all the seams.
You don't need to do any more than that.
Now, we change that one dimension from 12 to, what is this now, 9, let's say, 8, 9,
It's 8.
in the system. And $79.95 has just come down to $48.82.
But I'm
And-
going to charge you $8.99 to make that happen.
Great. What a net deal in my favor. Thank you, Kristina, who talks like this. And you know what that person's going to do? So you might think of that as losing $30 or, $22. That person is going to be shocked and awed, right? They're going to be like, what just happened? This does not happen at the post office. This does not happen at FedEx office. This person who seems to actually care and know what they're talking about and have these crazy tools, knows shipping, and they have my best interests at heart, because not only are they saving me money by cutting this down, they're also comparing in one screen FedEx, DHL, USPS, and UPS. So I don't have to be told what to ship. I can choose what to ship, right? So you are showing value to the client, and that client's going to leave there and be so amazed they're going to tell everyone in their network. Did you know that at Post Haste in Arcata, they actually try to save you money instead of charging you everything in the world? You have a client for life. This happens all the time. That's why the cutty downy thingy is one of your best assets behind the counter. But it's also a box manipulation technique, so that any height box you can make smaller by cutting it down. I'm sorry, I'll stop talking now.
People see us do that, and they're like, oh my God, you're just going to sell it as a retailer. The other thing you should know about cutting down is if you are going to cut it down more than half of the width of the box, you're going to have flats that overhang, right? So you're going to want to cut those off. I do that while the box is still flat. I have a little formula to figure it out real quick, a little bit of math, and that way you're not cutting off too much or cutting off too little. You do it once, it works. If you want that formula from me, you can get it from me. But in my store, I've actually switched to having a bunch of multi-depth boxes. So most of my cubes are multi-depth. That means that it's already been scored for you by the factory every 2 inches down to a certain height where you won't have overlapping flaps. That has actually, we used to carry, like I said, 120 box sizes. We're slimmed down to maybe 70 now because of the multi-depth boxes. You can get them in cubes and other rectangles and stuff too. So look at the multi-depths as a way to expand your inventory without having to carry every single size.
So let's say this 12 cube, we want to make a 12-12-6 instead of a 12 cube. Rather than doing the cutty downy thingy and just folding it over lower, we can measure halfway up, which would be 6 inches, right? And we can cut that puppy, and I'm doing this by sight here. Cut that puppy, but you would actually measure with a Sharpie, measure twice, cut once, and cut that puppy right in half.
It's just like how you make a double wall box without having a double wall box. Tell me you're a double wall box without telling me you're a double wall box, as the kids would say. And then you just put, put one over the, Marty.
I'm still Marty. You put one over the other. It works better on larger boxes. Smaller ones are a little tougher. And you just made a 12-12-6 that's double wall on the sides and super strong. That's called telescoping. Okay? So that 12 cubed now, at this stage of the game with these first 2 of the 5 techniques, can be a 12-12 anything. So do you need to carry 12 cubes, 12-12-6s, 12-12-8s, all those things?
You have a 12-12-2, 12-12-4, 12-12.
You've got it all in one box.
12-12, any size you want.
The larger the box, the larger your margin.
6 1/4.
You making a few more cents? The more cutting down techniques, the more service you're providing, you making a few more cents? A few more dollars?
And this thing here works good. You have a heavy item, and you're like, well, my thin boxes aren't gonna.
Binders, something like a stack of paper, something like that could burst a box, right?
What's the next one? You want to add it to maybe?
Let's see what's on the thing. I'm gonna go back to rescoring because that's the grand finale, right? That's the wow moment. That's the wow moment. Oh, that magnet part has fallen down. It's gonna come out somewhere. Expanding. So this one we're not going to demo. We're just going to talk about because it's a little bit complicated to demo. So maybe have that telescope box back, Kristina.
Yeah.
So let's say we have. Would you hold those and pull? Oh wait, I forgot to hold and pull. Okay. Let's say we want to make the box bigger. So we have a 12 cube. We can go 12, 12, anything below 12. But how do we go bigger? There's 2 ways, 2 major ways. The first one we're going to talk about is expanding. So we take the box, we cut it in half, we make 2 end caps. And then you take sheet cardboard and you right? You put 4 sides in there. You score it at 12 inches at whatever length you need, and you just fold it up into like 4 sides, right? And then you put one of these caps on either side. And now that 12 cube can grow to any size you want.
And then if you see on the picture, the tape is going all the way up and around, right?
Do you need to
Because
stock golf club boxes, golf bag boxes, all that stuff? Or can you just have sheet cardboard and a 12 cube? 10 minutes.
Sheet cardboard and a 12 cube, and now you got a 12-12-48. Which is what you put golf clubs in, by the way, for the most part.
Now, the other thing you can do to make a box bigger is atticing. Atticing is perfect. So we've got this 12 cube, and we want to make a very sturdy box. We're gonna make a 24-12-12, let's say, but we don't have one. But we have two 12 cubes. What do you do if you add two 12 cubes together, right? Like if you do the geometry or the math or whatever, it makes 24-12-12. So you take the box and you do flaps in, 2 in, and then the opposite 2 out.
2 in, 2 out.
And you put them down so that the corners meet. Because what happens if box paper cuts hurt so much? I just got
They're
one.
so bad, I know. You haven't probably had one since you worked at the store.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
See that? Now we're married.
By the way, I used to wear gloves when I packed, leather gloves sometimes, because of box paper cuts, and especially when I got a box order in and we'd stack it in the back, leather gloves.
I make my people wear gloves when they take the box order.
And the reason we did 2 in and 2 out is so these would hit, because that's not going down any further now, right? If you were just to do it all the way over, it could just squeeze down, and then you could have a compression problem.
Tape all those flaps down, those are catch points, tape them all really well.
Oh, look, we just made a 24-12-12 out of 2 12 cubes. Easy. Now, this does not, you're not limited to 24. So if you wanted 20-12-12, then you then cut this down 4 inches, or you could have cut 4 inches off of this and then made a solid line, and that's what could have met, right? So you can go up any height you want as long as you have those boxes in inventory. You can do this thrice. Put another 12 cube on top, make a 36-12-12. Or 12-12-36. Did I said it correctly? Proud of me?
Yes. In our store, just a note on the cut down, our who's retired now, but had throughout from the start, when I started, he told us these little points right here where the box is laid down, when it doesn't meet in the middle like that, and it's lifted up, he wanted us to put strapping tape on these corners to hold them down. He said they're catch points. So we do that in our store. You can choose to do that with a little bit of strapping tape or a little bit of extra regular
On the magnet.
tape. Yay! All right, we're gonna shift now. This is the part that's really
shifting.
exciting for us.
I've called this resizing or rescoring. Christina calls it shifting. Regardless, it's magic. And if you don't know what it is, this will pay for your convention right here.
All right, so you got a 12-inch cube, and you need a box you don't have, but you're looking for a 16-8-12.
What? A 16-8-12, but all I have is a 12 cube, Christina.
Right. What you want to do is look at the first 2 numbers on a box you're trying to use for this, and you add them together, okay? 12 plus 12, 24.
Oh.
That means you can take that 24 and make it split it into any dimensions you want for the first 2 dimensions of your box.
Because this is 24 inches, and it does not have to fold in the middle at 12.
Right.
It can fold at 16 and 8.
Yep, so we're going to take one corner and move it 4 inches so that we get one side that's now 16 long and the other side that's been shrunk down to 8.
Take my little tape measure. Thank you, FedEx. And measure in, well, drop it, bend down.
I do it from the middle. There you go.
And then from the middle, do 4. Sometimes if it's a smaller box, doing it on the outside is
Sharpie. You can Sharpie, you can pen.
is your
whatever.
option. But a lot of times it's a bigger box, you would do this on the inside, which is a lot easier. We're going to do it on the outside just because it's easier for you to see. Is that okay?
Do it however you want, but
Yeah.
I always do it on the outside just because
Well,
it's easier
okay then.
for me. You know, we get to
So I've measured 4 inches from where it originally folded, where the original bend was in that 24-inch piece of cardboard.
Then you take your straight edge,
Mhm.
line it up, draw your line.
We're pretty sure this straight edge is just a piece of flooring that was laying around the
That's
hotel.
straight.
All I had in my van.
And then here's
I love it. Oh, that's perfect. I love it. I love it. It's so
Listen,
good.
do not flip it head over tail.
No,
That will screw you up.
it will screw you up.
Flip it like a book.
Yes.
Have to flip it like a book, and you have to measure the same way you just measured. So I measured to the right of my seam. You flip it like a book. You measure to the right of your seam again, another 4 inches.
4 inches right here, Christina. I've got you. 4 inches, boom, and a boom.
Is that accurate?
Yes, it's perfect.
Dead on. All right, and then you make your thing. Okay, now you have a line. What are you going to do with your line?
Oh,
You need to score, right? This thing right here is basically just a dent in the cardboard, right? So you're trying to get the box to fold on this spot instead of that spot.
and now they make scoring tools, which is essentially the knuckle biter portion of this on like a stick. Not everybody has them, so we can use they're harder to find.
You can find the like clay making stores.
Yes, true, it's true.
What's that? A fabric store, right?
Oh, very good, nice.
That's right. But you can use anything. You can use a Sharpie, the butt of a Sharpie or whatever.
And you put your whole weight into it, right, Kristina?
Yeah. No. You're trying not to break it too hard because you don't want the box to just fall apart.
You don't want to cut a hole in the box, or you don't want to sever the box.
You're just trying to give it a little like
encouragement to fold.
Suggestion, this is where you're gonna fold. Oh man, I'm sweating. Here, you do that.
Can I do a light score?
Yes, you do.
So you can. Well, I usually just do a light score with a thing, but very
I'm a
light.
tool, so you can use that's what it is.
Well, I am a tool, so I just use my own. And then you do the same thing on the other side, right? A very light score. You're just breaking the liner board. You're not breaking any of the corrugate in the middle of the flutes or the liner board on the other side. And again, as a review of that slide we whizzed through earlier, the liner board is the very outside thing. Now, 12 cube has become, well, let's finish this by going, now the flat portion, you do want to go all the way through.
Well, you need.
Depending on what you're, but for our purposes, we're going to go over.
Yeah, but so I have a tool that actually is called a slaughter tool. I spent some time before the class.
Slaughters are so, I almost took my slaughter with me when I sold the store, but I was like, no, Clark and Cody, you can have it. It's precious. My mom gave it to me.
Look exactly at the 1/4 inch part that you need to make these clocks.
1/8 of an inch.
Because you need it to be able to open at that spot, right? Yeah. So.
But our 12 cubed has now become. Dun, 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 dun. Hold on. Or there we go. Oh, wrong way. Yep. There we go. We've just folded it in a different spot.
16, 8, 12. Now, after you have to tape the wrong flaps. Tape the flaps you're no longer using, right? Tape on both sides.
It's magic.
Into a wall.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So go around and figure out which
Isn't
one
that
you're not using.
no?
You can also take your cut down tool to it and make.
That's what I was waiting for. That's what we were waiting for. Thank you. You got the hint. You got the hint. Now.
Does that make sense, you guys? You tape up the empty spaces here. Okay, great. And you can use cut down tool on it now too and make it a really short box if you need to.
That's a vulnerable spot now, right?
Because you can see already this one's like splitting a little.
So now we've taken a 12 cube, the basic 12 cube. Everyone's got a 12 cube. We recommend stocking it. We've made it 12, 12, anything down. 12, 12, anything up. And now we've made it anything that adds up to 24 inches on the first 2 sides. And then you could combine these techniques and you could do the same thing with another box and then add those to make a, what would that be? 24, saying them in the wrong order, 16-8, right? 16-8, 24. So you are only limited, you're not limited by your box inventory, you're limited by your imagination. Can someone pass me that microphone so I can drop it, please? Now, so it's all in here. In fact, let me just show you something here, Leslie. When you get these slides, not only you're going to be able to click on this little video and you're going to see a live demo from our old TikTok.
Do you have it on YouTube? I'm anti-TikTok.
I'm not sure.
AMBCU will give you.
It's at AMBCU.
Okay.
Yes, because it's played there. It is played there. Yeah.
Do you have more slides that demonstrate?
Yes, ma'am. So now we are 1 minute past our time, so we're going to just leave this for you. But we have box construction, so you can make any box out of sheet cardboard that you need without having to stock it. So if you have sheet cardboard, the schematic for a box basically looks like this. So this is a regular slotted carton, the most common size of a box. This is the schematic. In these slides, you have a formula. You just plug the numbers you need into that formula, and it'll lay out, and you just cut it out and fold it out.
If you don't have sheet cardboard, you just take this box, I recommend leaving the flap end where it is and starting to measure from there.
Yeah.
And you can measure and make new walls wherever you want, and then make your slots, and then any extra cardboard you cut off.
Yeah.
Right? So you want to, you want to go 10 and then 6 and then 10 and then 6, and then you cut the rest of the cardboard off, and then you put it back together with the flap.
Because what is a box other than sheet cardboard that has been scored in a formula and glued together, right? That's the box right there. So if you have sheet cardboard and you have the formula and you have the dimensions you need that you plug into the formula, you can make any size box you want.
All right, any questions, you can come to us later. We're totally available.
This also shows other types of boxes you've got. Yep. We are,
Questions, comments, concerns?
This is awesome. Cardboard, do they come with the stamp?
No.
Okay.
So
You can,
That's what I
how
thought.
do you make your own?
Anybody here make rubber stamps in their store? Talk to one of them.
Okay.
I'm sure you
Remember.
can get a graphic designer of some skill here to make one that, all you gotta do is scan one of these in, right? And then just manipulate it.
and in an effort to only go 5 minutes long, practice your packaging. Get a Lego set, get a dollar store vase with your team, have them pack that up over and over and over again, throw it against a wall, drop it off the roof of your building, show them, because that will build their confidence. And when their confidence is built, when they know that dollar store vase is going to survive throwing it against a wall, then what do they put on? That imaginary packaging, professional packaging specialist hat, and they can sell it with confidence, knowing that that dollar store vase, if that can get there, so can that yadro. Happy packing. Thank you for your attention. Kristina?
So this obviously takes quite a bit of time. How are you pricing that? And you know